It is January 7th, 2012, and this is the first episode of The Talking Dead of the year.
2012.
Woo! So we're gonna kick this.
All right.
We're gonna kick this off right,
That's right.
or we're just gonna kick it off somehow.
Yeah, we're just gonna. It's gonna limp
It's gonna drag itself
like all
a
our
zombie.
shows. You're gonna right click and close it out
No,
in like
not
37
yet. Wait,
minutes.
no, because we have a good show.
No, we do have a good show.
We have all the way from Scotland, sitting in Edinburgh right now, Mr. Felix. He is the creator of a wonderful app. And if you've been reading and keeping up with Zombie Popcorn, you know how excited I am about this app. When I first heard about it, I was just like, this is the most amazing thing ever, especially if you're a horror fan.
Right.
Because this app celebrates independent horror in a way that I have not seen anybody else do it. It allows filmmakers to make short films and upload it to the website, to their app, and you can actually watch all of these horror films on your phone, on your tablet, and everything else. I have it right here on Miley's iPad because my tablet hasn't come in the mail yet, so I'm going to use her tablet to show it off. But this is what. Go forward. Why you flip it? I hate when it flips. But anyway, this is what it looks like. It keeps flipping back and forth. It looks awesome because you have at the bottom you have what is called Film Bites, where you can actually watch the films.
I'm gonna stop you right now
Go
and
ahead,
say
do it.
you should probably say what the name of this app
I
is.
said popcorn horror.
Did you?
Yes.
I wasn't
But
listening.
anyway,
Sorry.
if you're not listening like Paul,
I was thinking you were talking about the other app you keep talking about. So I was.
what other app is that?
The shirtless fireman app.
Oh no, we don't talk about
No,
that.
okay,
That's
okay.
the other show.
Okay.
No, but it's really awesome. I mean, like as you can see here, all of those little sections there are different independent films that people have uploaded, and you can watch them. And I love this idea. I think this is an awesome because I'm always bitching about how Hollywood is not putting out anything good, and we always miss out, especially since. Back when DVDs were big and VHS was big when we were young, it was always hard to find good independent horror films. Unless you were on a mailing list or if you were on something, it was hard to find good
or lived in a huge city where there were options.
Yeah, it was always hard, and this has made it easy because if you're an independent horror film maker, your number one thing is to get people to see your film. Your number two thing is to make money off your film.
Right.
And Felix, welcome to Zombie Popcorn, has made it possible.
Great. I don't know when I can start talking or not.
Yeah, you can start talking. I'm excited about this.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and you guys can say the word popcorn horror as many times you want, Paul. If you want to keep forgetting, then keep reminding me.
What was it again? The popcorn horror.
I think you can find that at popcornhorror.com.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean that was perfect for me. Well done, Paul. That's like, you're getting a
we aim
Christmas
to
card
please
this year.
Awesome, but yeah. So
thank. Yeah, go ahead, Jason. What are you saying?
No, I was just gonna ask you what brought you to make popcorn horror, and how did you do
it? Well, I guess it started with when I got my Android phone. I'm a big horror fan, so I kind of searched for horror. On the market, and I was looking at all the stuff, and a lot of it's rubbish. You know, it's like really cheap ringtone stuff, or really kind of cheesy kind of wallpaper stuff, or just really kind of tacky. Really, there was nothing that you could see that someone who really loved horror or loved what they were doing and kind of invested into it. And it was kind of before a lot of the kind of bigger magazines had their own horror app as well. So that was one reason why it was. The second reason was because I'm a filmmaker myself, and I guess it was the marrying of the two things. I wanted to put together, I guess, my love of technology, my love of horror, and my love of filmmaking, and it just seemed to a perfect kind of vehicle to get all three of those things across. And I guess the last thing was that being part of the kind of digital revolution, it's been incredible in many ways because of the way that the technology has become so cheap, and it's, I guess, what the term is, democratization of filmmaking. Anybody can go out and make a film, and it's all great. But at the same time, you know, there's the cyberspace is flooded with stuff. So in terms of finding great stuff and also valuing stuff, the digital space is still kind of working out how to do that. So I was quite interested in being part of that kind of conversation. So I don't know, about a year ago, I kind of came up with popcorn horror, and it's been kind of bubbling on my mind. I made a 1 minute short horror film about 3 or 4 years ago called Slide, and I showed it to people, and people really loved it. And at the time, I thought, oh wow, that would look really cool on a mobile phone. So I guess that was another kind of early route of where it kind of came from. So anyway, about 12 months ago, I applied for a course in Scotland called Starter for Six, and I got into it, and they allowed me to develop my ideas, and there was workshops, and there was a wee bit of money at the very end of it. So using that little bit of money and a lot of favours from a lot of friends, we kind of cobbled together the initial prototype and launched it on Halloween this year. And I guess the idea is really to create an independent horror cinema experience in the palm of your hand, and try and get really great content from around the world and package it in really interesting ways, and reward the filmmakers as well, and find different ways of getting audiences and great content together and working with that relationship. So we're really at the beginning at the moment, but I think we've got lots of exciting plans of where we'd like to go with it now, because we're getting sent almost too many films.
Oh, wow.
To be able to put one on the app every week. So we've got lots of exciting plans. But in terms of how we got to this point, this is how we got to the point of where we are. Is that an answer?
Yeah, that's a great answer. And what I'd like you to add to it as well is that you said you were trying to find a place in the digital revolution for this, and how the net and everything is being flooded by all of these independent films. I think the difference is what makes your app amazing is that, like, you can upload your video, your horror film that you made, your short or whatever, to YouTube or any other the video hosting sites, and people can see it, but the filmmaker and the actors and stuff, the people who put the time and energy and money into it, don't get anything other than recognition. But with your app, you actually are compensating filmmakers. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's really important, because part of what's happened with the digital revolution is that we have to try and kind of reinvent how we understand kind of reward and appreciation in all its forms. Because I think it's probably fair to say that a lot of the kind of old business models that I'm sure like yourselves used to go and rent your VHS, and you go to the cinema and you'd maybe buy it for Christmas. So it was quite a simple kind of structured way of how people work with their rights and watch content. But now we've got such a kind of massively wide, varied way of watching content and distributing content, exhibiting content. We're kind of at a kind of interesting point here of how do we value things, and how do we get people interacting and really propping up the best stuff, and really rewarding it, as well as promoting and encouraging films. And I guess that's got to be linking content creators with audiences, and using new technologies and using new payment systems, and listening to what people want, really. And I guess that's a little bit about what we're about as well.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I've talked about this app to, I've written about it on the site. I've talked about it on this show. I've talked about it on the street. I just ordered.
Jason, you're my favorite American.
Yeah, he's got a sandwich board sign that he just parades up and down the avenues here, and a crier. He rings a bell.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I only know about 4 Americans.
Yeah. If I'm your favorite, we're doomed.
Yeah.
Paul, you're now my second favorite for that interruption there with the whole popcorn thing. That's it.
There we go. We're climbing the ladder.
Yes.
That's it. Christmas
yeah, we're pretty big in
around,
Scotland.
Christmas cards all around.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Don't get me
Sorry, what were you saying there, Jason?
No, I was just saying, it's like, I'm really excited about it. I ordered the Transformer Prime, which should be here Wednesday, and so I was using the app on my wife's iPad, which is awesome that you've created the app for both platforms. And what we talked about a little bit before the show was if you're going to make the app suitable for tablets, since that's an upcoming market on that.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad you asked that question because we didn't really have very much money to get the app off the ground. So we really put the app out as a beta, and we've been trying to kind of do a lot of the debugging and sort out lots of little kind of things that are still going on with the loading times and things like that. And one of the big things is that strictly speaking, it's not tablet ready yet. And it's not iPad ready yet. You can definitely use it and it will work fine, but in terms of it being a really great, smooth experience, we've got to spend a wee bit of time getting that right, and it's something we're definitely going to look to get done within the next couple of months. Yeah. So it'll be on both platforms, but also on mobiles and also the tablet devices. And I'm looking forward to getting things working smoothly across the board for sure.
Well, now absolutely. On the tablet, it looks watching the videos look good.
Yeah. I mean, it's little things like if you've got the iPad, it doesn't work when you turn it one way, and some of the writing, and it's smaller things.
Yeah.
To think about, but we're definitely going to keep on working and getting it right. And if there's anybody out there that uses the app who's got any feedback for us, we'd love to hear from you. Because we've only been going for 2 months now, so we just want to keep on kind of growing and learning, basically.
So if you haven't ever seen this app or used this app, I mean, what do you get when you open the app? I mean, what do we see? I mean, because Jason showed the camera, but for people who are listening and not watching,
sure.
Is it like a
Yeah. So are you talking about like what the kind of experience is?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you see that? Is that coming up on your?
Yes.
Is that coming up on your monitor there? Kind of.
Yeah.
It's the worst demonstration in the history. Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to do that because that doesn't do it justice. But yeah, so obviously it loads to a holding screen, and the holding screen we've got rotating pictures. So every week there's constantly. I mean, part of what we wanted to do was really not only to link every element of the app into either the people creating it or the audience. So one thing in our next update is that everybody will be able to send in their horror quotes and rate on horror quotes, and also we've got posters, and we really encourage people if they've got events or horror festivals or anything to send in their posters, and we want to put more posters up. We've got a news feed there as well, and at the top of it you'll see a thing that says suggest, and we encourage people if they've got something they want to promote, then to hit the suggest button and right then and there send us in some information and we'll do some promotion for you. So in terms of just the whole kind of ethos of the app itself, it's not just about interacting with the filmmakers and rewarding them, reporting them. It's about the people. Once they're in the app, we really want people to be involved a little bit more in terms of sending in suggestions if they want things promoted, sending in their posters, or just send us in their horror quotes or rating the rest of it, so it has a real kind of community feel to it, really. So the films are obviously really central to it, but there's other things that we're going to start trying to open up even more, really. So yeah, you should check it out.
So if you're a filmmaker, what are the requirements, and how does a person get a film to you?
Sure. Do you mind if I take 2 seconds to plug in my computer? I think it's going to run out of juice.
Go ahead. Do it.
All right, 2 takes. I tell you what, I'll keep talking. You can hear me, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you're just going to have to look at my clothes hanger for a while.
We can see you in the reflection. So
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, there we go. So we've got a website, www.popcornhorror.com. Paul, you make sure you forget that in a couple of minutes.
Right. I'll forget it around the end of the interview, and we'll bring it back up just in case.
Perfect. www.popcornhorror.com, and you go onto that the website and you register, and there's 3 ways you can get it to us. We wanted to give like high tech and low tech possibilities, so like no matter what your experience with the internet is, you'll always be able to get your film to us. So there's 3 buttons to press. There's one that's a ULR, so if you've got a live film, all you have to do is put in some details and send us your ULR with a secure link if you want. If it's on Vimeo or YouTube, you can also upload your video to our server. I'm going to switch this on. Yeah. So the second option is that you can upload it to our server, and the third option is you can post it to us if you want to go old school and get a DVD in the post and post it to us. So we're trying to make it as easy and also as broad as possible for people to get their films to us. And what we're looking for is 1 to 20-minute films, but what we found is that the 1 to 12 minutes work better for us. And in terms of criteria, in terms of what we're looking at, well, obviously we're taking on at the moment 56 films a year for the mobile phone, but I think we'll look to probably expand that. And I guess what we're really looking for is just that show me effect, and that little spark of excitement or originality. And it comes in all forms, and it comes from all countries all over the world, and it comes from students and people that have had $30,000 put into their films. So we're just looking for the joy of horror.
Yeah. So not every film gets accepted?
Sorry?
Not every film gets accepted?
No, not every film does get accepted. We just because we don't have enough room on the app, and there's a couple of other kind of like mass criteria, like with Apple they have rules in terms of how much nudity or pornography that you could show. They could kick us off the app anytime they want, so we have to be a little bit careful in terms of what we put on there. But I mean that's kind of one of the really interesting things is that if we put every film that came into us and paid for every film that came into us, it would be just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of films.
Yeah.
So wouldn't be sustainable. So there has to be an element of creation.
And there would
there needs to be some sort of filter.
Yeah, definitely, because then you're just doing what is already happening now.
Yeah, and yeah.
Exactly, and I mean the point being is that we want people to feel kind of confident that when they go to Popcorn Horror, they know that the little horror thrill that we're going to give them is going to be kind of pretty good quality, or something that's going to really
right.
We try and cover taste at the same time though, but that has something about it, really. And but we've actually got plans to do an online channel as well, which will allow us to pull in more films, and we've got some exciting things hopefully happening in the next 6-7 months. Not just with short films, but also with feature films and various other things as well.
That sounds exciting.
So that's
you want to talk about that? Or
it really is. I mean, as I say, this is I guess the mission's kind of threefold for us. One, go out there and find the great content. 2, find exciting technologies and platforms to put it on. And 3, find really good ways of helping reward the filmmakers. And we're looking to do with micropayments at the moment to see if there's something we can do there, and we're going to test out with that. We're going to look at some of the VOD options out there as well. So we're going to just kind of poke and prod around until we find something that's going to be kind of empowering for everybody, really.
Yeah.
And that is going to take us a while to get there, but it's going to be an exciting journey, I think.
For right now, though, so like if you're not a filmmaker but you're a horror fan and you download your app, you have subscriptions and then you have a free account. Can you explain the difference and what you get and why?
Sure. So as of this next update, I'll explain what it is. So you can download the app, and what you'll get is say 4 or 5 films for free, and you're going to get access to all the other elements, the kind of the news feeds and the quotes and the posters and bits and bobs as well. And then basically, if you're liking our stuff and what we're doing, we're going to make it, I think it's $3 or something, $3.99, and that will give you access to our service forever. So we'll listen to what people are saying, and the people. I don't think people like subscriptions, the idea of things running out and also too many options. So what we're going to try now is just say, listen, if you like what we're doing, help us, give us a little. You're going to open up all the films and that are going to be locked, and all the films coming forward. So I think that's a pretty good deal, and that helps us. And if enough people sign up, then we can continue to buy films and license films off filmmakers, and then hopefully that will create a snowball effect, really. Does that make sense? Did I?
That,
Did
no,
I?
that
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
makes sense. And I think that's a great price too, because
Yeah.
Yeah, $3.99 for a film a week in your pocket is pretty.
That's cheaper than Netflix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
right.
that's forever now.
Yeah.
We decided just we'll go forever on that. And
So the longer you live, the better deal it is.
Yep.
sorry.
That's even better.
He said the longer.
It's I think it's a great deal. Yeah, we were just really keen to get lots and lots of people using it. And thankfully, we're getting great downloads at the moment.
Good.
And you know what we realise is that people don't like being closed down. I think in general in the kind of cyberspace, people don't like being closed down. They like really great value, and what we're looking to do is say, download the app for free, have a go at it, try all this stuff out, and if you're digging it, then for a little bit of money, you're going to open up a whole box of fun for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Well, forever, whatever that is in terms of app life, and we're going to hopefully get people involved and enjoying it. Really,
That's pretty awesome.
is that it? Yeah.
Sounds
It's
good to me.
just been so much fun so far as well. Part of my job. Well, my job is, I get up in the morning and after I eat my cereal, I have made the mistake of watching the films and then eating breakfast, and it's not advised. So I always eat my breakfast first, and then I get to sit down and watch maybe like 4 or 5 little horror films from around the world, and some of them are absolutely terrible. And then occasionally you're sitting there and you're going, that's it, that's it. That little bit of magic, so it's a total joy.
That's
I
awesome.
love that they're from around the world.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I said I love that they're from around the world because, we think movies and automatically I think American. We go 3,000 miles left and it's still America. So all the movies are, usually what we think of. But how great that you can, watch a little bit from here and there.
Do you know what's really interesting is that you do get kind of types of films from different places. Like we get quite a lot of Portuguese and Spanish films, and they tend to be really into their kind of horror comedy. Like they don't take things seriously. And then we get quite a lot of horror films from Israel. Actually, they've got like quite an active film community there, and like the Scandinavian countries, and they tend to be a lot more dark. And it's almost funny, like the type of lifestyle or almost like the type of climate you're from really reflects the type of horror films you produce. From the kind of the light and funny kind of stuff we're getting out of Spain to the kind of the darker stuff that we're getting out of Scandinavia and stuff. So it's kind of interesting, I think.
So do you have a percentage breakdown of what regions you're getting down? Are you like getting a lot from like Norway or just like whatever? Are you getting a lot from one area?
Just from we're getting films from Kenya, name it basically.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So what's the country that has surprised you?
I think Israel. Israel's really surprised me because obviously it's quite a small country and you don't think of it as a big filmmaking community. But the standard of stuff that's coming out of there is pretty high, and so I've been quite impressed with them. And
that's why I love.
I think in terms of horror community,
really cool.
I didn't realize like Spain and some of the maybe even South American countries they're really into their horror. They really love that stuff. So I didn't realize it was such a kind of big, thriving kind of community there. So I guess they've been the kind of 2 most interesting trends for me. But we haven't kind of got the word out there because obviously we don't have a marketing budget, so we have to use our wits to try and spread the word of what we're doing. So it's kind of been easy to get people involved in the UK. And I've got some friends in America, and I spent probably more time with bloggers and people in America as well because they're English speaking, and you guys are quite a big country, and then within Europe. So I'm really excited about getting other countries involved and seeing what they come up with. The Italies and the Russias and the Australias and even some of the kind of Far Eastern countries as well, to see what kind of films, if we get involved with those communities, what kind of films they're going to throw our way as well, which will just help that because it will help the kind of diversity and the interest week on week. So hopefully it's just going to become more interesting as the kind of months kind of tumble on.
I want to go back to the filmmakers real quick, just in case there are filmmakers listening and this is really enticing them. On the website, on popcornhorror.com, it says that filmmakers will get $200, right? Correct? And some other stuff by being accepted in. So they get $200 up front just for having their film approved, and then they get a percentage of
individual sales.
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess you're right. So if you are a filmmaker there, then you go to the website and you have 2-3 options to get the film to us, and then in terms of what you get, we kind of break it down into 3 things. Obviously, you get your film on the app, you get promotion, and we will promote you as a filmmaker, and we'll give you space on our website and our filmmaker gallery and lots of stuff. But also, we also give you a $200 flat fee, and also at the moment we're saying 20% of individual sales, where the likelihood is that, for example, if we bring in potentially some micropayment options for some of the stuff we're doing on the web, it's likely to be a lot more. So I would say at least 20%, but much more, probably, well, a lot more to tell you the truth. But because we didn't know at the time what kind of percentage we would be able to offer people, we thought it was safer that we offered a kind of a smaller percentage and then be able to go, hey, by the way, guys, we're going to give you even more, rather than offer too much and not know where we're coming from. So I guess that in terms of the percentage, it was more because we hadn't worked out what we're going to do with it yet, but we're kind of clear on it now.
But I think for a short film, that is a very generous offer.
Yeah,
and very good.
Yeah.
I mean, because that percentage is the life that the film does well. And
absolutely. But that's a big thing for me, because I'm not just a horror fan, I'm also a filmmaker. So I'm really keen to see people being rewarded for the work, and it kind of excites me, the idea that we can find maybe some ways of giving people back, not only a bit appreciation, but a little bit of money that they can then put onto their next project, and for that to kind of galvanize, a really structured way of people progressing in their film career. Because I think there's a lot of opportunity out there with the different technologies to really directly link audiences with filmmakers in terms of the exhibition of their films and also appreciation between the two. I mean, I think we live in an age now where kind of the middle management and the big corporations and all these different people don't necessarily need to stand in our way. We can empower ourselves. So that's part of why I'm doing Popcorn Horror, and part of the kind of ongoing dialogue I want to have with the app and with the films and the filmmakers.
I think it's perfect. I think it's awesome.
Thanks, man.
And I want to do everything in our power to make sure Zombie Popcorn supports Popcorn Horror the entire run. For everything from here on out, we want to support.
Yeah, and right back at you guys. And it's important and encouraging to have people like yourselves say, we can understand what you're doing and we want to get behind you and the rest of it, because for the most part, the whole thing's run on imagination and ideas. There's no big money behind it or anything like that. It's just a lot of passion. So I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah. So we'll talk about some other stuff off the air, but I want to give a big a preview of some of the stuff that we're going to do with Popcorn Horror. Starting next week, we are starting a contest, and we're going to give out subscriptions to the app.
Great.
But that'll be the details on that will be up on the site next week. I just want to do that, and
that's like the gift that keeps on giving.
That's
better than the Jelly of the Month Club. I mean, that's that's like a gift every week.
I thought you'd fallen asleep there.
No.
He was trying to remember the website.
Yeah, I was like, what is it? Popcornhard.com? I just didn't want to step on everybody's.
I know, that's cool.
And so, you were saying, that'd be great. I'm definitely happy to do that for sure, man.
And then we're also, Zombie Popcorn is also going to be adding content to the app by doing reviews and interviews with the directors and filmmakers and crews and stuff like that, and putting that out
please.
and doing that and help spreading the word.
Yes, good for us.
Let's synergize.
Yes, it sounds great. I mean, I know I've said it 100 times on this show, but I absolutely love this app. I know. I love the idea. I love everything behind it. I want to push it to get more independent.
It makes everybody else we've talked to look like shit. No, I'm just kidding. It's just me. I just wanted to see the awkward look on your face. No, it is one of the really exciting things that we've come across.
It is
okay. Well, great, and I'm kind of blushing now. So many compliments.
I thought you were just drinking.
I just like to thank my mother and father.
That's right.
For bringing me up and the rest of it. It's been a cold, long couple of years. No, it's not like that yet. But as I say, it's the beginning of a journey, and I'm all about forming partnerships with people from all around the world, and just because I guess we've all got to look after ourselves. We've all got to look after each other a little bit. So I really appreciate your support, guys.
It's awesome. So, do you want to kind of foreshadow a little bit about what you were talking about of future plans, or do you just want to wait? Is that because that's still?
I probably not give too much away, but all I will say is that hopefully by August this year there will be a whole new kind of branch to popcorn horror, which will be including a lot more films, but also be looking for like real integration with artists and bloggers and musicians, and also feature films, but designed in a way which is really purposeful for the audience and the content creators. And we're looking to put together a couple of technologies and a couple of interesting ideas for payment systems, or not even payment systems, but kind of reward systems in a kind of central genre hub, which I'm really excited about, which might hopefully take us to the next level. But I think that's all I can really say at the moment.
Right. When you say we, how many is the count on we?
Well, I say we every there's no we. There's just myself, and there's a guy. No, that's a lie. There's a guy called Derek McEwen from Two Scottish Geeks who helps me out, and there's also a bunch of other people that help me out as well. To be fair, but it's when I speak to companies and the rest of it. We're going up to the London Short Film Festival next week. And we're sponsoring the horror category, so I'm going to go and get kilted up and go and give an award out. And it was funny because they because they're from London, they and what we were doing, they assumed that we were a bigger company, that we had people that were working for us and the rest of it. So they were asking us questions like, "So who are you sending up from the office?" And I was like, "Oh, we'll have to see who's available and all this kind of stuff. And maybe I can make it, maybe I can't make it.
Right.
So that's
and you're
funny.
Gonna make it.
Yeah. So I use the royal we, but there is no royal we.
Yeah.
It's just to make myself sound bigger.
No,
than I actually am.
It's a good tactic, but the reason I knew that, and the reason I asked that is because I want our listeners, the filmmakers, the people that will support, know that this is truly an independent, from the ground,
literally,
seriously, from the ground, built up, community-driven project that is actually supporting horror and has no other agenda but to support good genre films.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And is the Queen's the only person that is allowed to call herself the royal we, isn't that right? So I must be careful.
It's great.
Yeah.
What was that website again, Paul?
I can't remember actually. If only someone would remind me.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Paul, I'm going to help you out there.
All right.
Because I can see you're struggling. So it is www.popcornhorror.com, and 24/7 we're here for you.
Awesome.
And we've been talking to the creator of Popcorn Horror, the app and the website, Mr. Felix. I know it's very, very late for you. You probably want to sleep or at least go hang out with your friends on a Saturday night.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Yeah, it's creeping up to 1 o'clock here in the morning.
So, I will release you of your.
But your pants look dry.
Yeah, they do look dry, don't they? I thought you guys might appreciate the perspective of the window here. I thought that was kind of very horror. You're liking this?
It's nice.
Yeah,
it's kind of very Dario Argento type, you know. Got the the color of the curtains.
That's what I was going for. Yeah, loving that. But it's been a pleasure.
Yes.
So thank you very much, gentlemen.
We will be in touch. Thank you for spending the evening with us.
You're welcome. And hello to everyone in America and across the world. Listen to the blog. Okay, guys. Good night.
Good night.
All right. Have a good night, man.
All right. Take it easy. Bye.
No, that was good talking to the Felix.
It's interesting how over here we all go in between, and over there they go eh.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, in between words he'll be like instead of
Didn't even know.
I always pay attention to everybody's vowel sounds, man. Come on.
I guess that's what you do because you're a sound man. A sound man. Anyway, so. What's new with you, Paul?
Nothing really exciting and new. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, nothing worth talking about.
Well, no, I think there is something worth talking about because you sent me an email today, or not today, this week, with some very, very important news that was released about.
Well, that's not new with me.
Well, I mean, I thought if you sent it and that was such important news.
No, I thought it would be important to you.
Why would you think it's important to me?
Because I'm looking at your computer right here.
What? Just because I have a Tron mouse and a Tron mouse pad and Tron screen, desktop screen.
I want to say, don't you also have a cup that has...
Not the one I wear, the one I drink out of.
Right. The one you drink out of with Olivia Wilde on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not because I didn't get the cup because
it had
Olivia Wilde on it. I got it because it was from a movie which I thought was going to be really good that turned out not to be.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And we're not talking about Tron with the cup. We're talking about
right. You're talking about Cowboys and Aliens?
Yeah.
Well,
and she just happened to be in it.
Right. Okay.
But
I wasn't sure because there was a magazine around here with her on the cover as well.
That's Miley's magazine.
I know, but she said...
but if you want... to go back and listen to the other shows, I think there was a whole episode of where you were talking about that poster of Olivia Wilde when she was in Tron sitting on the couch.
Oh, no, I said that shot was made for a poster. That's the only reason they put it in the movie. I mean, she's sitting there. I mean, she looks good. She's sitting there and she's like all posed on the couch. Nothing to do with the story. They're just talking, oh, yes. I'm touching the sky. I'm knocking on the sky, blah, 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 blah. And then it cuts to her and she's just like, striking a pose.
And then you send me a link this week that says...
Yeah, I thought you were all into her. That's why I sent it to you.
I just thought it was funny because you're like, why is this news? It was a whole article about...
Well, yes, why is it news? Apparently Olivia Wilde got a new haircut.
Woo!
Yeah, which I got to say, I don't think looks as good as the old haircut.
No, I didn't. I did not agree with the new haircut.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, it was not a good haircut. I'm sorry. Yes, I said that. Anyway.
Ooh, burn.
That was it. No, very excited. Next weekend, a week from tonight. Actually, on Friday.
Bridal 13th. Expo at the Scope.
That too, yes. Yeah. But no. See this?
That's where I'll be.
MarsCon, we have the Zombie Popcorn All Access passes that we will be giving out to people. I have them here. That's it. I've been working on them all week, and they are ready. We're going to be at MarsCon. So we're not going to be doing a show recording on Saturday like we normally do because we're going to be at MarsCon. Being the official podcast of MarsCon 2012, and hopefully, if everything works out the way that I have it planned in terms of technology, I will there will only be a couple-hour delay between each panel recording and event recording that we do, that it will go up on the site.
Mm-hmm.
If everything doesn't work out the way that I would like for it to work out, then I will stay up all night and have it up. So each day will be posted at the end of the night. It will be a mixture. It's going to be a mixed medium podcast. Some of them will just all be audio, strict audio,
Mm-hmm.
and others will be both, audio and video. And so I'm going to try to balance that, because there's just some panels that just won't be that entertaining unless we have video, because there's going to be slideshows and videos and whatnot. And there's going to be special effects, makeup artists there, and it just requires video. So I feel like doing a mixed medium of reporting will do this event
Awesome.
the best. So we're very excited about that. I can't believe it's already here. It just seems like it flew by. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And right now, tomorrow, well, actually, by the time you broadcast this, it won't matter. But
Today,
but we have a winner of the Chop DVD. It was announced in the newsletter, and if you get the newsletter, you know who the winner is.
I do.
You do. Awesome, you got the newsletter.
I get it. I had no idea I had signed up, and then one day,
And
there
then
it
one
is.
day.
I was like, what a surprise.
Well, you said you wasn't getting it, so I had to make sure.
Yeah.
Bob is getting it. Ken's getting it. I'm getting it. We have like 100.
Now we just got to send it out to people who aren't part
No,
of
we
it.
get, not counting us, we have roughly 100 people signed up now.
Good.
And we've only been doing it for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I love getting the newsletter because it says like, "Dear Paul" or "Hello, Paul." And
Hello,
I'm like,
Paul.
why the fuck didn't he just send me an email? And I'm like, oh, it's the news. Yeah.
I did send you an email.
Yeah.
In the form of a newsletter.
That's right. That's how you should communicate with everybody,
You just make newsletters for
You're
everyone.
like that asshole that sends out like the group Christmas letter of how the family's doing.
The family.
The family newsletter.
Well, this
This year has seen many changes in the Bayless clan.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what I do for the newsletter. I said this week, and
Yeah.
but no, everybody but you said they enjoy getting the newsletter.
I did say I didn't enjoy it.
Just kidding. So if you haven't signed up yet, head to the zombiepopcorn.com website and sign up.
A newsletter. That shit is legit,
That
son.
shit is legit. And we're going to do special exclusive content and contests through the newsletter in the near future. And, of course, we announce all the winners to the contest in the newsletter. So if you're not getting the newsletter, you're not getting the prize.
I think maybe if you get the newsletter, you should be entered in any contest twice.
We can do that, too.
That would be incentive to join the newsletter.
Dun, 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 dun. That's a good... So from now on...
Off the top of my head.
That was it. You should start doing newsletter marketing, I guess.
Yeah. I found my calling, honey. I was over
I left my job tonight and started pursuing the career of
a newsletter
marketer.
marketer.
And all you say is,
Jason, I have a laminate.
ooh,
Shaka, why is the string white?
why? That has to be white. It's pure.
It's true.
I know. I don't know what that means.
All right.
But anyway, so it's good to have our first show. It's good to have you back. Bob is out, working.
Boo.
He thinks his
I
job.
have to pay rent.
My job's more important than the show. Thanks a lot, Bob.
You let us and everyone who subscribes to the newsletter down.
He's listening right now. He's like, you motherfuckers. Anyway, so we talked a couple weeks back in the old year about a film called The Devil Inside, which all of us across the board were very excited about the trailers to it. So had high hopes for it. But the reviews that I've been seeing about it have been really fucking bad.
Really?
They're saying shit like, think of all the elements that take, the handy cam shots in films that are really popular. They say, take the elements that make that bad and put it in this film. They said that you actually get sick
yeah.
watching this film, and it's not that good. They said it's the worst of a B movie. It has that feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Shaky cam from hell, and it's not good.
No,
they said it's not even scary. It's not even creepy. It's just really poorly done.
I got to say, the trailer looks good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they got a different director to do the trailer.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's whoever edited the trailer, I guess. Oh, well.
Yeah, so it's really sad to say it because everybody says it sucks. I haven't seen one good review about it.
Wow.
And that lets me down because I really wanted that to be a good film.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Maybe. That's why we got to support independent horror by getting the Popcorn Horror app.
The Popcorn Horror app?
Yeah, from popcornhorror.com.
Wait, you're telling me you can get a Popcorn Horror app from a website?
Yes, from a website for your iOS or Android.
Wow, this is like a bad infomercial. But wait,
there's more.
If you go to popcornhorror.com right now, you can still download the app
and watch horror films for free.
It is a pretty cool app.
Yeah, it is awesome.
All right. Enough stroke job.
Yeah, that's all we do. So there's a horror comedy coming out called A Little Bit Zombie.
Every time I hear that, I just think of Mambo number 5.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Like, I don't know why, but yes. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? We watched the trailer to it.
I thought it looked cute.
Yeah.
I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of All Zombies. You know,
yeah.
we interviewed and did a contest to give away that DVD, and it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, it reminded me. We were talking off camera about. I watched Tucker and Dale versus Evil last night, which I highly recommend if you love horror comedies. And that one is basically. They're the rednecks, you know, and the typical. Basically, it's like what Shaun of the Dead was for zombie movies. This is for the Hills Have Eyes, wrong turn, crazed hillbillies attacking. They're doing nothing wrong, but from the perspective of all these college students, they're slaughtering everybody. Someone will go to attack them, and they bend down to pick up a shovel, and they fall into the wood chipper, and it's really funny. It's good stuff.
Yeah, the trailer looked awesome. We talked about it on the show.
Yeah,
and, it definitely looks awesome. And
it was awesome.
It was
really good, and you can go on Netflix and stream it now.
Netflix.
So I recommend that.
All right. Do it right now. No, not right now. Wait. Well, yeah, a little bit of zombie.
I promise to have fun.
Good. I'm not going to, and it's so.
Yeah.
I need you on board this weekend.
Is about a bachelor party.
Infected by a virus during his bachelor party, a mild-mannered HR manager attempts to fulfill his overwhelming desire for brains and avoid Max, the obsessed zombie hunter hot on his trail, all while keeping it together as not to incur the wrath of his bridezilla-to-be. Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah. We'll let you know once we see it. Unless you see it first, let us know. They're making the film
World War Z?
Oh, yeah, they're doing that. We can talk about that.
Oh, I thought you were going into.
No, we can talk about that.
Okay.
That'd be good. Yeah, they're definitely making the film World War Z and starring Brad Pitt. In an interview recently, Brad Pitt said, or hinted out, he didn't come straight out and say it, but they may be making the film into a trilogy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know why, but...
Well, it's supposed to be a little different than the book, so maybe
it's gonna be way different.
Maybe if they turn it into a trilogy, they'll steer it back into the correct direction.
So you're saying since the book is about the aftermath, about reflecting back, that the trilogy would probably be these stories, and then the last one would be them reflecting back.
Maybe you could have the start of it, the thick of it, and then the third one, which would be what the book is.
The third
going back to the second or first movie.
No, it'd be like, how you always make a joke. I can't believe it was just a dream. It'd be a guy sitting there talking to an old lady or something, going, and that's how it happened.
Yeah. And then the bus comes and he gets up with his box of chocolates and he walks in.
Yeah, and it's Forrest Gump zombie style. Yeah. That's it.
I love that Forrest Gump trailer recut. I think we've shown it on here before.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump horror trailer.
It's pretty good. It is creepy.
It is. I know what love is, Jenny. It's the best line.
It is pretty awesome. Do you? But you think of everything that you've heard about World War Z? Do you think it warrants this? Do you think it warrants?
Here's the thing: I never finished the book because I didn't like it.
Okay.
And it wasn't bad. It didn't. I can't think of what I'm going to say. I'm picturing people because everyone loves this book, or a lot of people really like it. It just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
What
was it lacking?
Me giving a shit. I mean, that was basically it. It was almost, because it's just these records and it's kind of dry and cold, and that's how it's supposed to be. But I got to the point where it's like, this is okay. It's like the one before. It's like I just didn't care.
So you're saying you got in 4 or 5 stories deep, and then
I got about halfway through, and then I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because there's no real overarching thing tying it in. There were little vignettes, and maybe it would have all come around in the book towards the end. I don't know, but they do it for me. Every once in a while, I'll watch a movie like that. It'll be a movie some people like, or maybe nobody likes it, and about 15, 20 minutes in, I just don't give a shit if anybody lives or dies because I'm just not feeling the connection. So.
But you have that outlook in real life too.
I do. That's why.
We walk down.
That's why you're my only friend.
He's we're walking down the street. There's 15, 20 people out there. We pass 3, and you're like, all right, the fourth one. You're like, I hope this person dies.
Yeah, I do. I'm like, I'm not feeling anything from him.
Yeah,
I held the door to the 7-Eleven. He said thanks, but it didn't seem heartfelt.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah. If there's a zombie apocalypse coming, fuck him. That's exactly it.
He's just just push him down. So you're not looking forward to see the films?
No, I think the films will probably be more to my taste. Yeah,
because it's nothing like the book. Apparently.
Yeah.
Well, we need a trailer. That's what we need.
Yeah, I mean, it's all hearsay right now.
Well, we don't even need a trailer. We need the film because the trailers, of course, as
apparently
the Devil Inside is shown, is not what it is. So,
but no, I'll check it out.
Yeah. There's a Norwegian film called Thale, Thale. That looks really awesome. The teaser trailers that are out on the net right now are very short and very, that leaves more to what the hell is that type.
Yeah.
What is this film going to be? But it's based on Norwegian folklore, and it's pretty awesome.
I swear, man, Scandinavians have the best folklore out there.
Yeah, and we are always talking about how fascinated we're at Krampus,
Yeah, for some reason, all these Scandinavian / Germanic region of folklore keeps coming up over and over in our lives. It's very strange.
I don't mind because I like it.
Yeah.
So this film apparently is about how would you say, the Huldra?
Yeah, I'd say the Huldra.
Yeah. It's a seductive forest spirit who appears from the front to be a beautiful young woman, but also has a cow's tail, and whose back appears to be like a hollowed out tree. The Huldra has been known to offer rewards to those who satisfy them sexually, and death to those who fail to do so. And they're also prone to stealing babies.
I love that in the line. One last caveat, they're also prone to stealing human babies.
Anything that's prone to steal babies, you're like, okay, my favorite Icelandic Yule is the cat.
Right. That one's so fucked up.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Kid's already being punished for having crap parents and being poor, and this cat's here to terrorize him.
I'm going to kill you. I love Krampus.
Yeah.
Not because he's a demon, not because he runs around with Santa, but because he puts the kids in the bags and whips them.
Puts them in their place.
Yep. And so now I have a new love of folklore creatures.
Yes.
And I'm very, very.
She's hot
very,
like a Hodra. Check that out.
But don't let her turn around because she's hollow like a tree.
That's right.
With a tail like a cow.
Yeah. Is there a dip in the back of her shirt? I can't tell.
She's really skinny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like what also really fascinates me is the fact that the folklore is almost mermaid-esque, but you have to satisfy her. If you don't, you die. It's kind of like Black Widow is.
Yeah. I totally wouldn't even attempt that shit.
I'd be like, I'm going away.
Yeah.
Talk to my wife. She'll let you know. And then he'll die anyway. But I'm always fascinated of how they come up with these hybrid creatures, how they come up with the folklore.
Yeah.
Because when you start looking deeper into it, you find out how they came about.
Right.
Whether it was because...
Well, it always reflects the environment that they're in. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of dead, hollowed out trees. There are plenty of cows
that look like hot women.
Yeah. and hot Nordic chicks. They put them all together.
They're just like... They're out in the field, and the guy's getting high, and he's looking. He's like, "There's a girl frolicking through the field." There's a old
yeah,
tree.
yeah. Some of it can be like that fungus that grows on wheat that caused the.
You mean the thing that started religion? Oh.
Yeah, the hysteria in the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
It could be anything, but it's like that in every culture.
Not America.
They're gonna
or America. Let me be proper when I say because America, that means North and South America. What I mean is the United States.
Right. Now we have our own folklore like that.
We don't have folklore.
Yeah, we have folklore. It's just different. It's not as like monster-esque and epic. We have all the shit in Roswell. I'd consider that modern American folklore.
Well, I guess yeah. But that's modern. We don't,
right. But it's folklore doesn't mean old.
No, I'm not saying that.
Folk and then lore.
No, I'm not saying
stories of the people.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that folklore is old. I'm just saying it doesn't have that appeal because it is new and we grew up around it. And
it doesn't have that appeal to you. I think it has an appeal a lot to people who grow up in countries with all this old folklore, and they look over here and see newer.
So you're thinking that the people who, grow up around Krampus and grow up around the lads are looking at the.
I mean, some of them may love it, but I'm sure there are people that are like, it's kind of like we're still kind of the new country with not so much anymore. In the last couple decades, we've tapered off in coolness, I think, but I think. To some people in other parts of the world. Well, other ideas for folklore, Elvis is still alive. I would consider that American folklore. He's a larger-than-life character that people won't accept that he's dead. And even if they can, they almost want to play along.
Yeah.
And then we have movies like Bubba Hotep that tap in to that folklore.
Yeah.
So there's definitely American folklore, but it seems to be more Western 50s car-ish stuff, L.A. car culture than the other stuff. I would think another American folklore. This is going on a stretch, but in the 80s on all the talk shows, the satanic abuse. That was like sweeping, like the hysteria that everyone like Satanists are sexually abusing our children, and then it went over to England as well. But do you remember the 80s? You could always turn on a show.
But that was also pushed by fundamentalist Christians.
Yeah. But it's our stories.
You're saying that with that would be marketing of an agenda pushing group that created a folklore with it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure. I guess that's
I'm sure whoever came up with the Holdra was saying, don't go out at night in that forest doing whatever you do.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Because there's a woman who has a cow's tail.
That's the thing. Is when you think of folklore, you think of the stories that that the adults would tell children so they wouldn't get in trouble or do something. And
the boogeyman is our folklore. Because it's
the New Jersey Devil.
Yeah, some say the boogeyman's based off of the Boston
Sasquatch,
Strangler. Yeah.
Well, I guess
Sasquatch. We have Mothman.
Yeah. What's the thing in Texas?
We got Charlie. Is that in Lake Champlain, our version of Loch Ness?
Oh, yeah. Bat Boy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Our folklore is just a little more white trash. That's all.
Too many PBRs with this.
Yeah. And just urban legends are our new folklore.
Yeah, I guess so.
All over the world. Everything from alligators in the sewers to,
Well, yeah, I guess the difference between our folklore and when we look back like this.
But I'm sure they have those stories in other parts of the world.
Well, I'm sure they
now.
do, but I think the difference is that the reason we don't view them the same is because when there is that folklore, there's a movie out. Somebody puts a movie out about it, and we see it, and we're like, oh, well,
sci-fi probably has a movie about alligators in the sewer.
Well, no, there's crocodile, there's alligator, there's all those B
Lake
movies
Placid, all that stuff.
All those horror movies like that. So yeah, I guess it kind of softens it for us because anytime there becomes a movie. I mean, even with the Elvis, where you mentioned it with Bubba Hotep.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
and it's different, when you're in the present dealing with present folklore and thinking about folklore from hundreds of thousands of years ago.
I just wish we could offer something more. It's like the way that we look at, oh wow, this is a woman who has whatever, or Krampus or whatever. People go, oh, that kicks. I just wish
we have.
I have a hard time seeing into the future of seeing people look back, after we're long gone, and only our stories remain where they're like, and there was a guy named Elvis.
Yeah,
he died, but he still lived.
Yeah.
He's Jesus.
Yeah. It'll be a new religion that's part Elvis, that reveres Elvis, and then John Edwards. They'll have spiritual communication. It'll be like a spiritualist rock and roll revival.
Yeah,
and and that'll be our
I'm so
folklore.
sad.
And you know what they'll say?
If anybody's watching this in the
future, they'll say like, "Wow, must have been." Everything in the past seems more magical and. Not everything. I mean, not like the bubonic plague and shit, but
very magical.
Yeah. That was a magical time when we got those boils and 2/3 of Europe
but
died.
No, even that's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird how the brain works like that.
Yeah. No, we just have.
What is nostalgia? It's like Greek for like.
I guess
meaning the place you can never go back to or something like that.
And the stories that we have that even in our lifetime. Somewhat that we look back to with fascination is the Amityville Horror, haunting in Connecticut now.
But Amityville is a good because it's I'm sure it's not exactly what happened.
You think?
Yeah, and but that's that's part of our folklore now.
No, that definitely is.
And that fuels like. One good story about a monster fuels another, know.
Because that story, no matter what happens, will live on.
Yeah.
As the devil possession story, not as anything else.
Right.
It will live on. I guess whatever.
So there you go. We have folklore.
We have one story that seems somewhat all right, but still is not anything good.
I don't know. I think that's pretty good.
You know what? I wanted to research American
demon possession. We've got Paul Bunyan. That's folklore. We've got Johnny Appleseed. That's our folklore. We got Buffalo Bill riding away on a giant. I'm sure you heard plenty of that. Riding away in a twister.
We got Benjamin Franklin. No, I'm just
kind of. Yeah. I mean the whole kite and the key. And that little mouse that was flying up. Oh, no, wait. That was the Disney version.
That really happened.
Yeah.
That's the only thing about that cartoon.
It's early animal cruelty. Scientific testing. Yeah, we got folklore. It's just not.
It's Family Guy and South Park.
Yeah, wow. Those won't stick around.
I don't know.
Maybe the Church of the Fonz will, but I don't think any other ideas out of that show will stick around.
It's crazy. But, they are making the film, moving along. Abraham Lincoln The Vampire Hunter.
Right.
Well, as with everything, there is now a casting call for a new film. It's a B-movie film, of course. Trying to cash in on it.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, no. Abraham Lincoln versus zombies. And they are doing a casting call.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were saying Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter was a B movie.
No.
You're saying there is the
B movie that they're doing a casting call for now called
right
Abraham
as the
Lincoln.
In the spirit of Abraham Lincoln versus vampires is
Vampire Hunter
is another movie called Abraham Lincoln versus zombies.
Yes.
Man, he was a great president. He took care of so much shit.
He is. He did. So
he is. Him and Elvis, man. They're out there.
I just totally went back in time right
Cruising Route 66.
Listen anyway. So the film is
Party
on, Wayne. This is while the brutal Civil War rages on, Abraham Lincoln must undertake an even more daunting task: destroying the Confederate undead. And that's the premise of the movie.
Awesome.
They're looking for here's their casting call that they're looking for. President Abraham Lincoln. They're looking for a 54-year-old Caucasian male, tall and lanky, strong actor with strong credits. We want a talent that resembles Abraham Lincoln.
That's a good call on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other casting call that they're looking for is Mary Todd, a 45 to 50-year-old female Caucasian Caucasian first lady of the White House and Abe's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for John Wilkes Booth, 25, Caucasian male, part of the new Secret Service. And he says, we are looking for someone to resemble John Wilkes Booth. Stonewall Jackson, age 40, male Caucasian, haggard with a dark hair and a bushy beard. Has only one arm, general in a great army of the Confederacy. They're also looking for...
You think some makeup could take care of that arm?
No,
are they looking for a
one
arm?
I think it would be great for them to actually find somebody with a one
Yeah.
arm. I mean,
I'm just saying your odds have really gone down when you're looking for a B-movie actor who's a 40-year-old haggard-looking Caucasian with a good beard
well, if you're
and one arm.
Yeah, I guess. Well,
Although if you're a one-armed man, it's a good time to grow a beard.
It is a good time to grow a beard. So, all you one-armed listeners, get that beard growing. You may have a job. I mean, because, I just made that sound like if you don't have an arm, you don't have a job.
I do, right? if you're getting tired of selling pencils, yeah.
And not sharpening them. Sorry. Anyway, they're
you could hold it with your teeth. All right.
They're also looking for another Abe, age 9, Caucasian male. I guess that would be boy. Caucasian male, lanky boy, likes to read. Please submit talent that look like a young Abraham Lincoln at age 9.
Wow, that really said look like and not looks.
Yeah.
This is the B movie.
Yes. And then they need to find Thomas Lincoln, age 30, Caucasian male, father of Abraham Lincoln, strong and loving family man. Are they asking that to be your talent? Or
I'm hoping they're just saying that that's the kind of character you're going to portray.
Not that you have to be.
Yeah. Because no one acts. You actually have to be.
He's like, can we hang around your house for a while?
Yeah. He's strong, but he's not very loving.
No. Next. And they're looking for Nancy Hanks Lincoln. Why did she get the middle name?
Probably her maiden name.
Yeah, maybe. No. Age 30, Caucasian male. No, I'm just kidding. Caucasian female, motherly type.
All right.
So if you fit any of those descriptions...
and you're a thespian.
And you want to be in Abraham Lincoln versus
You should let
zombies.
Bob's brother know, right? Isn't he an actor?
Oh, yeah, he might do it. We should do it. Remember when we went to go try to be extras?
Yeah, they didn't work out. There was a freak snowstorm.
What the fuck?
It was that zombie western.
Maybe we should apply for this because if you grew a beard and cut off your arm, you could
I don't think I'm old enough to be.
How old did they want him?
Stonewall Jackson in his 50s.
You could pass that off easy. What is that, makeup?
Just go out in the sun a lot.
A lot. Just start laying out now.
This is the best $5,000 I've ever made.
You think you're going to get $5,000?
That sounds pretty good for a B movie actor. It depends on what level of B we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be way low level.
Because there are some B movies that, hell, there's, what's his name? Jerry O'Connell. I consider a B movie actor, and I'm sure he does quite well for himself.
But that's Jerry O'Connor.
Yeah, but he's a B movie actor, wouldn't you say? So if you say B movies.
But I'm talking about B movies.
Oh, you're talking about.
Because I think
don't know. I don't know who's producing.
I don't either.
But I think you're saying these are like these knockoff ones that go right to video.
Well, I don't know. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I think bigger labels may pick up the actor that you're talking about. I don't know. I'm just saying. Just saying. It's crazy. Crazy talk here. Yep. So, what movie do you want to see?
Chipwrecked.
Do you really?
No.
Actually, we went to go see.
I wanted to see the Muppet movie.
I did see the Muppet movie.
Was it good?
And there's a lot of good 3D trailers that were before that movie.
Really?
There is a stop animation 3D film that's done by the people who do Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
Called Pirates, and it looks awesome.
That's
We're
cool.
gonna go see that. So.
I heard Tintin was all right too.
Yeah, everybody says that Tintin is pretty awesome.
Really?
Bob and his girlfriend went to go see Tintin.
Wow.
And they said that it was awesome.
That's cool.
Oh no! They didn't see Tintin. They saw Hugo. Sorry.
Hugo. Yeah, that looks great.
I don't think Tintin's out yet.
No, it's out.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, they didn't see it. We should go see Tintin then.
Yeah. What was another one? I saw The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
How was that?
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, thumbs up on that one. Thumbs up. It's a registered trademark of School.
Oh, well, then you need to say...
my thumb is raised on that selection.
I can't believe you're already backing out of your rating system that you created. For
yeah. That was a 6 Dr. Pepper film. That was a 6-pack right there. Forgot about that.
Obviously.
Yeah. I forget about a lot of stuff.
Damn it. So, I think that's all we have for the show tonight. Stay tuned. We have a lot of contests.
The new Sherlock Holmes was good, too.
Did you see
I'm
that?
Just totally interrupting.
No.
Yeah, it was really good.
Totally forgot to talk about that.
Way better. The first was good.
Yeah.
This one is great. Highly recommend it. Total fun. Just,
Yeah.
Lots of cool slow-mo. Like there's a scene where they're,
where he's taking off his shirt.
Yeah. Him and Jude Law are getting ready to oil each other up for a wrestling match. Where they're running a scene where they're like running through the forest, and Germans are shooting at them, and there's like, the trees are getting hit and everything's in slow mo.
So it's kind of like The Matrix.
Yeah, kind of, but really, really good.
Awesome. So go check it out.
Less overacting than The Matrix.
Really? So the period piece compared to the Wolfman visuals, how is it?
What are you asking?
Costume settings and everything?
Oh, on Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah.
Oh, head and shoulders above. Yeah.
Better than Wolfman?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, Wolfman, is good. The Wolfman makeup was great.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is a much higher budget, and, it's just the sets. Everything is really amazing in it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Word to your mother. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Stick around to Zombie Popcorn because we have a lot of contests lined up. So much that I don't even know what to do with them. We have a lot. We finish up 2 by the time this show airs, and then we'll be starting a new one the day after this show airs. And then we have MarsCon next weekend, so stay tuned for that. Weekend after MarsCon, we will be interviewing someone very special.
Is that the 22nd?
That is the 21st.
Oh, good.
21st. Sundays the 22nd.
Good, because I have to do stuff on the 22nd.
All right. We won't record on the 22nd. We'll do it on the 21st. So stick around. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of great stuff. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, please do so because we're going to start giving away a lot of stuff in that as well. If you're going out to MarsCon, please say hi to us, hang out with us, talk to us, do whatever. If you're not, stay tuned because we'll have all the content up on the site shortly after MarsCon. And definitely go check out popcornhorror.com. If you have an iPhone, an Android phone, a tablet, whatever, download it. You get to watch free movies. Subscribe to it. Stay tuned because we're going to have a contest dealing with
And it's
them.
great if you have a short attention span because of the movies.
Yeah, if you're waiting for a bus, you could watch a film.
Yeah.
Sitting on the bus, riding the train, whatever. It's awesome. So that's popcornhorror.com. Thank you for watching and listening to The Talking Dead. Head over to zombiepopcorn.com and let us know what you think. Have a great night.
Have a good night.